Welcome, everyone, to today's SCP podcast episode. My name is Ujjayini Brawley. I am the 2023 SCP Conference Co-Chair, and I am joined by the fabulous Dr. J. Dr. J, please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you, Uji, number one, for just having me on. I'm really excited about what you and Shannon are doing this year with the conference, especially it being our first one back in about 3 years, which I know that it's been a lot of hard work, but I'm really excited to see what you all have pulled together. But yes, so I'm Dr. J. I am Director of Consulting at the Sasha Group, which is a marketing firm in the Vayner Media family. So if anyone is familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, that's one of his companies. A lot of my work at the Sasha Group deals with leadership development, believe it or not, in a marketing firm, org design, as well as helping professional service leaders, CEOs, founders build their brand and market their business. And so if I could sum that all up, I'm looking at the organization from a holistic perspective, and I'm tying the marketing strategy back to a larger business strategy, which is what we do as IO psychologists, consulting psychologists. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. J. Phenomenal. And we are gearing up for the 2023 SCP conference this February 3rd through 5th. Now, our theme is called Conscious Consulting, Authentic Connections for Transformational Communities. Now, Dr. J, what are you looking forward to the most at this year's conference?
Well, number one, the fact that Doug Riddle, our president, chose the theme conscious consulting, I think is a very, I'm really excited about it because I think we have to be really intentional about the work that we are putting out into the world. There are many people with the titles of consultant. There are many people who dabble in the psychology realm and even use some of the words that we use. But I think instead of us like coming down on those people and saying, you can't use those words because that's not going to happen, or you can't use those titles, that's not going to happen. I think we have to be, just very conscious about how we are showing up. And so some of the sessions that I'm involved in at the conference is one, I'm doing a workshop with Dr. Bill Berman and Jeremy Robinson, MSW. And we're going to be talking about the business of psychology. So essentially, we're helping psychologists. How can they approach their business with a business mindset? Because in our training, we're not taught these things. And so Jeremy and Bill will be talking more like the strategy, more about how to, build out their own strategy. And I'm coming in with the marketing piece and how do you show up in the world whether you're in B2B or B2C space, and how do we tie that back to the ultimate business strategy, helping psychologists do that. And then the other two sessions that I'll be doing is number one, it will be the state of the union of marketing for psychologists. What does marketing mean for us? There's a lot of literature that has been put out now up to this point, because we saw during COVID, during the entire pandemic, we saw a mass growth in not only mental health apps, but we also saw it in executive coaching apps, and so we can't just sit idle on the sidelines. We have to join in the conversation. And I believe that one way we need to do that is through building a brand, and not only building a brand, but just going back to the conscious consulting, marketing ourselves and a brand allows the playing field to be leveled. So you and I, Uji, we don't have to wait for someone to bring us a chair and say, oh, now you can sit down because you've earned your way here. We don't have to have the gray hair just yet for someone to take us serious. If we can build our brand and market ourselves in the right way. And I don't mean this by just putting out information for the sake of putting it out, but actually whatever our expertise is, putting it out there for the world to see, making it what we do accessible, I think we can help more people in that way. And there will be rapport built with just the general public through that brand and that marketing. So that's what one of my concurrent sessions will be about. And then the other concurrent session is the branded psychologist. So if the first one is just kind of stating the thesis of why you should be marketing yourself, the second session will be you are going to walk out of here with your own strategy and how a plan and how you're going to go and execute that plan. I want every single psychologist, whether at this conference or those who will be tuning in to watch the video, I want each and every psychologist within the APA umbrella to be equipped to share psychology with the world. So that's what I believe about the whole conscious consulting, and that's what I'm most excited about, especially with this year's conference.
Wow. I want to be at the conference now.
Well, I can't wait to see you there. I'm excited.
You just moved me in so many different ways, and just the thought of being able to leave out of the conference with my own branded consulting practice or ideas in mind it's very inspiring. And I want to ask you, what keeps you inspired, not only with that particular type of content, but also with merging that with SCP?
Absolutely. So, number one, what keeps me motivated about this is because I myself have seen the power of building a brand. And what I don't want people to shy away from is thinking that brand is just, about a bunch of colors and it's the aesthetic. It's not that. If we exchange the word brand with reputation and then put marketing as the vehicle to let people know about that reputation, that's pretty much what it is. And so what makes me so excited about it is, or inspired about it, is that, again, it levels the playing field. I literally don't have to wait until I've been practicing for 30 years for me to get the same types of clients or get the same type of exposure that some of my more senior colleagues have. And I say that even to, any graduate students or any early careers that are looking at this or even transitioning. We in a world where, I don't know if you've heard about Chat GPT, that's a hot thing right now, but in a world where social media is first and foremost where I'm going to go to look for a career, to look for a couch, to look for new friends, to find out a restaurant, exactly, to find out everything about anything, then we need to be on those platforms. And so by being on those platforms, it allows us almost the same opportunities that someone who's been practicing for a long time, the same opportunities that they have, we can also get those opportunities. But again, it doesn't mean that we can just show up without any credibility, without any sort of, something backing us. We still need that, but we don't have to wait as long to get, again, those same opportunities. So that's what keeps me inspired on that front. But then converging that with SCP, building up my own reputation within the walls of people that I look up to, that I aspire to be like, being able to pick their brains and learn from them and learn how to move and how to have these conversations and who to network with and just being able to navigate the politics of psychology. By building up a reputation within the division, not only does that get me respect with, my colleagues, but it also gets me mentorship and support and sponsorship that I would otherwise not have just trying to go out and figure it out on Google. So not everything we can find on, the internet. And that's what I feel that SCP provides, is that human to human connection that I need to develop myself as a budding consulting psychologist. So again, any early careers or grads or students that are listening to this, build up your reputation. Absolutely be inspired about that. But also the division or any division under the APA umbrella, get involved, find a sponsor, find a mentor, find some people who can help you navigate this industry.
Wow. You are dropping gems.
I hope so.
If you're out there watching this interview, I hope you have your pen and pad out and taking notes here. Now, I want to know what is your recipe for a successful day?
Just on any given day?
on any given day? On any
I
given
would
day.
I would say number one, prayer. I do
Mhm.
not start without that. And then I would say number two, a plan, prayer and a plan. And my plan comes through Monday.com. I know that there are many project management softwares out there, especially for like larger teams. But I use Monday.com to pretty much plan my day, my week, my month, my quarter, all of the things. And
Mm.
so if I want to walk away from the day or the week or the month, having knowing that I have accomplished something, I have to have some sort of project management software. Monday.com does it for me. So outside of prayer, outside of a plan, I just started this only about 3 years ago or 2 years ago, but I have a brag sheet that it doesn't matter. I don't care how big or small a project. If it's something new that I'm embarking on, I will write that down. I will write down
Mm.
what I've accomplished. I will write down how long it took me. I will write down the resources that I needed. I will write down what was going on before. Just as a traditional IELTS psychologist, that's what we do. We take a pre-measurement and we take a post-measurement. But I write down what was going on before, and then I write down what was the outcome, and what was I able to do with the company or the team or the client as a result of me being a part of that. And so some people would say, oh, that might be a little vanity, but I think it's important, especially
Yeah.
for me to look back on throughout the year and see how far that I've come. Were there projects that I'm looking at on Monday.com that I didn't quite finish, that I probably should have offloaded to someone else or delegated to someone else? Because that's one thing that I'm working on this year is delegation. But it really keeping that brag sheet or a list of accomplishments or projects is something that helps me kind of do a retrospect of my year and helps me to plan for my professional development the next year. So prayer, plan, and definitely a brag sheet. I would say those are the three things for just a really good day for me.
Wow, thank you. It wasn't not so long ago that I was introduced to the value of a brag sheet. So I'm so happy that you mentioned that. Just like the pouring in, that the part of self-love that's so important about taking ownership of how we show up in our
Absolutely.
accomplishments every day. Because if
Yeah.
no one's going to celebrate us, we got to celebrate ourselves.
Absolutely. There you go. There you go. Yep. I
Now,
love it.
outside of your involvement at SCP and outside of work, tell me, where do you find fulfillment or joy?
Yeah, so I have two kids. My son is 13 and my daughter is 9. And I've also been married. We're actually on the 12th of February, we'll be celebrating our 14th year of marriage. And so there was once upon a time where, especially when it's always the first child, right? You want to give them the whole world and everything you didn't have. And so we would just buy gifts all over the place for him. And then when my second child came along, I'm like, you know what? Maybe you don't really need all of these things. But one thing that I learned through all of that that really brings me enjoyment is I found more brightness spark in their eye when we actually went somewhere and they got an experience.
Mm.
The toys, they could care less. They want to play with the boxes. By the end of the year, those toys, we don't even know where they exist, you know. Uh, but when we would take them somewhere and they would learn something or they got to experience something new, they look back on those pictures and they are just like, oh, I remember when. Oh, that was fun when. Oh, remember when daddy, remember when mommy, like it just creates these memories that I think stick with them longer than the stuff does. And so when we discovered that as young parents in our early 20s, that's been something that really has stuck with us. And so all throughout the year, we're always looking for an opportunity just to give our kids an experience. And that for our own selves is an experience, but just to again, like, look, we at the end of the year, we take a look as a family back. Oh, what happened this year and how did we grow? And I even have the kids, they have their own little journals. I call them I call them just self journals where they just write out who they want to be for the school year. And so when we've done these little bit of exercises, they can look forward to what they want to do next year. They have a goal, you know, if I want to go here, if I want to do this thing, then I need to have the grades. I need to have not even just the grades, but the character to go along with it. So I would say that giving my kids, my family experiences and being able to see my kids see their own growth really gives me a lot of joy.
Wow. Heartfelt. Oh. I love how inspired you share yourself through not only your relationships professionally and with your children and your family and being vulnerable with the world. I just think it's just incredible the way that you show up, Dr. J.
Thank
And
you.
I love how you push others to be their best selves. And my last question for you is, what would you tell someone who's coming to the conference how to get the most out of their experience?
Absolutely. Well, number one, I think, especially early careers and graduates, number one, you need to understand why you're going in the first place. I personally think, and I hope all of you take this on, but the reason we should be going to places like this is so that we can develop ourselves. We don't know what we don't know. I know everyone says that, but it's true and it will always be true. Go and learn something that can help you elevate your career, yourself, or even someone else, your practice, your team, your something. What is the one thing that you can take away? Okay, that's the first thing. And the reason why that's important is because I hope you all, like myself, the more I can develop and the quicker I can learn and apply and get some sort of outcome, the more doors I can open for those to come behind me. Which leads me to my second thing that I would say to those of you who will be attending. You've heard it said many times, it's all about who you know. I'm going to challenge that and say, it's about who knows you. You can know all the people in the world. You can come to SCP and you can get every business card that you can imagine at SCP and meet every single, 200 plus people that are going to be there. But the question is, who knows you?
Yeah.
So what is it that you're learning? Go and talk to some of the speakers. Let them know how valuable their content has been for your own professional development. Maybe they said something that, you know what, I know that this could help elevate me. I want to have just a 15-minute conversation with them. The one thing that I love about SCP members, and this has been true since I started as a young, master student up until now, but our members love to talk. We love to build community. We love to get to know you. So don't be afraid to just say to someone like, hey, can we go get coffee? I guarantee you they will say, yes, let's go do it. And if they don't, come get me and we will go talk to them together. But it's really about knowing why you're there, to learn, to grow, to develop yourself in some sort of way. And then it's about who is knowing you there. Go and find out, what you can learn from people. That, I think, that makes you memorable. It makes you like you want to be here, you want to be involved, and you are invested in yourself. And so those would be the two things that I would say would be my advice to anyone attending, but especially the grads and the students who will be attending.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. J. Last plug. Share the names of your workshops again that you'll be featured at the SCP conference, please?
Absolutely. So the first one will be with Dr. Bill Berman and Jeremy Robinson, and forgive me, but I had to go look at it. But the first one will be a workshop. It's killing two birds with one stone. It's the psychology of business. So if you're a psychologist and you want to learn how to build up your business from a business perspective, I would highly encourage you to attend that workshop on Thursday. And then my second one will be my concurrent session will be, the first one is Psychology State of the Union, how brand connection can restore the prestige of psychology. That one will be on Friday, February 3rd. And then my third one will be the branded psychologist, building a brand as a psychologist in the digital age. And that one will be on Saturday, February 4th. So even if you can only come by just to say hello, please stop by and say hi. But I really hope that you get some amazing content, not only from my sessions, but the amazing plethora of sessions that we have this year. I'm so excited, so excited.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that plug, Dr. J. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for sharing all that valuable content that you have, everything that you've learned, and just being so vulnerable on this call today. We both look forward to seeing everyone that's checking out this podcast at the conference, and we all hope you have an amazing rest of your day, evening, weekend, whenever that you watch this. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.